The fifth president of Kenya Republic, William Samoei Ruto, on 20th of October, the year 2024, gave us the largest or the most unexpected deception of our times, as the speech he was actually giving to the citizens of Kenyan nation was actually the direct opposite of what he stands for and he stands with. What am I talking about? Today, I want to analyze for you the very first paragraphs of his speech, even as he was saying that he is one person who is concentrated on women leadership, and that's why he was saying if there would be any problem because there was no woman elected in power, therefore in Kwale County they already have a woman who is the governor. Very first, let us try and dissect the speech of the president vis-a-vis the things that he's been doing, and let us try to compare these two personalities. Now, the president said that we Kenyans are proud defenders of our freedom. We Kenyans are proud defenders of our freedom, and we have the sovereign power to do so. Mr. President, when Kenyan did say kufa dereva kufa abiria, were you deaf or were you there listening? Now, if the people, you did conduct public participation through the opposition leader that you're also now into bed with, that is the ODM, through the leadership TJ Kajwang, and when you conducted this public participation with regards to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, they did tell you you came as a package and therefore you live as a package. Mr. President, the rule of the Constitution, are you upholding it? Number one, yes, the deputy president, he's not popular. We don't like him. Of course, yes, we want both of you to be out of power. But the process and the way in which you want this person out of power is uncalled for. You are setting a president. What if in future we get a deputy president, someone who is actually doing and partaking the responsibilities, and they're not in good terms with the president? What happens then? It means they will be impeached by the president. Two, you said that our forefathers first monsters of imperial domination, until the person who is going into bed with imperialists day in, day out, taking loans from the IMF, them giving you conditions of making sure that you implement financial bills that otherwise are so detrimental to the economy and the economic status of the citizenry. The life, most of the people right now are living below the per capita income. How else would you say that forefathers did face monsters of imperial domination, whereas you were one part and parcel of these imperialists? Don't act like you don't know them, or maybe it was just a speech. Three, you say that from our forefathers we have learned to be free. We have to be united as one family. You're talking about unity, Mr. President. Do you really know the meaning of unity? Are you practicing it? You know, it is one word talking and it is another word acting. You talk about being one nation, one people, despite our various ethical and cultural backgrounds. But are you supporting that? I did a video just the other day about the appointments that you've done in the government parastatals. All the CEOs are coming from one ethnic community. Mr. President, how are we speaking as one family, whereas you are number one person who is actually pushing and fighting for nepotism to have its place deep rooted in your Kenya Kwanza government? So how then, Mr. President, are you making sure that we stand united and as one family, whereas you favor one ethnic community against the over 40 communities that are in Kenya. Mr. President, if you're able to answer that, then I think we'll be able to get the right response and the character in you. Because these are direct nominations. You say that we must see each other as equals and justly and leave no one behind. I just talked about it. You've done appointments from one ethnic community, Mr. President. How then are we supposed to be as equals? Because it seems that specific ethnic community that you are appointing as CEOs, it means they are so much qualified and so learned and they are so competent than the rest of the over 45 ethnic groups found in these Kenyan borders. Mr. President, actions speak louder than words. You said, we have what it takes, including values, principles, and commitment that define Ushujaa, to break free of oppression, humiliation, poverty, and indignity. Mr. President, how can we put your character as William Samoei Ruto, the 5th president of Kenya? How can we put you and humility and dignity in one sentence? Value and principles. Remember, Nelson Mandela once said, I cannot quote verbatim, but I'll paraphrase, that if you are a man that changes your principle according to the situation that you are in, then that is not principle. That one, you are an opportunistic. So, Mr. President, you can talk about value and principles, whereas you are the number one person who actually break those principles. I even don't think if you have any principles or values to be celebrated as a president. Do you? Mr. President, do you sometimes sit and look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself if the person you are seeing is the person you really wish to be? Have you taken your time and done some self-reflection and got to know what you really wished for and what the people wished for you to become? Is it what you are? Therefore, you are the orchestrator of oppression, humiliation, poverty, and indignity. Indeed, you are the problem, Mr. President. You say that our forefathers struggled to employ determination for Kenya to be free. You said that they went in history and sacrificed themselves all over the nation. They confronted on unjust, exclusive, and oppressive system in pursuit of national liberation. Mr. President, the speech was so nice. It was well choreographed. It was well written. Good punctuations, grammatically correct. Unfortunately, the speech did not reflect the persona of the character delivering the speech. And that is you, the 5th president of Kenya, Mr. William Samoei Ruto. The speech does not reflect your personality at all. The other day when the Gen Zs and the millennials took to the streets to demonstrate their sovereignty and tell you that they are tired of oppression, what did you do? You hoodwinked. You deceived us that you've dissolved the cabinet. But when you nominated CSs again, the same monkeys in a different forest. In quotes. The same people with cases on courts. then you deceive us. That is change. You never did any change, Mr. President. You are the greatest deceiver of our time. And with that, I urge fellow Kenyans, if you feel touched and you are tired of oppression, if you are tired of people who are propagating imperialists, volitions within the nation, then you must stand up and say no. The best I can do is speak, at least, if I don't have the energy on the streets. Speak up if you can speak up. If you can move on to the streets, we have various forms of expressing our frustrations of the day that is being forced unto us by the government. For how long shall we cry? For how long shall we wail? For how long shall we keep blaming this government? Yet we have the solution by ourselves, the sovereignty. We can exercise it either directly or indirectly. Now, the indirect way has proved to be futile. It is an exercise in futility, dead on arrival. Therefore, we should stand up for the nation. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the unscripted talks here in DURB Radio. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and don't forget to press the notification button, so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. If you're watching from our Facebook page, kindly follow us for regular updates. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, DURB Radio ndio mpango mzima.